Today, we are going to start chapter 2 of the new manga written by the author 1, Verses. Okay, so chapter 2 of Verses. So the last one we left off where the new world, where they were technologically advanced, they came and they saved Hollow and Zabi and them from the demon horde that had stumbled upon them. But however, they're telling them, hey, we're actually dealing with an enemy that is bringing us to the brink of extinction. Can you guys help us? So we're going to lead on from there. Hollow, Zabi, and the others look puzzled. Zabi and Pain presume the New Worlders speak a different language. Help must be a word of greeting to them. Captain Kayla is urgently called by her men. Another squadron, led by Stun, were sent to a different location. The team has suffered many injuries and casualties. As Captain Kayla begins to render first aid, Stun informs her that the interdimensional gate generators were successfully activated and the world has now connected with another parallel universe. Hollow begins to take in all the information he is seeing and hearing. He now understands that although the mages planned to summon forces from the other worlds in order to help defeat the Great Demon King, his demon generals, and armies, they are now being called upon by those very worlds to help in their wars against their enemies. Captain Kayla then officially introduces herself and states she is the commander for the anti-machine front lines. So it sounds like Captain Kayla and her world are at war with what I'm going to assume by the name Anti-Machine Front Line is robots. Zabi is extremely confused regarding the interdimensional gate mentioned earlier by Stun and questions Kayla. He insists to clarify that Kayla and her world were summoned by Zabi's world in order to seek help, but then Kayla insists that their worlds are now merged because Kayla's world activated their gateway in order to seek help. They both look bewildered, but soon enough, they all realize that coincidentally, they both used methods to reach each other's worlds at the same exact time due to their enemies. Captain Kayla then specifies that their enemy is indeed robots, and that they were actually the humans' own creations. However, these robots eventually developed artificial intelligence. So in other words, these robots began to have a mind of their own and thoughts of fulfilling its own agenda. She then states that the robots have already conquered approximately 80% of her world. Zabi asks Kayla, if humans on her world created the robots, why can't they just stop them? Kayla sighs at Zabi's ignorance and explains to Zabi, it's not that simple. The robot's artificial intelligence has now far surpassed that of any living human, and can now create military weapons and equipment that humans are incapable of comprehending how to build or combat. Kayla then states that she's not surprised Zabi doesn't quite understand. After all, his people only have to battle mindless demons. Zabi is insulted. He suggests that Captain Kayla and her world couldn't even fight the demons. Some demons can destroy the world with just one hand, plus they possess magic. Kayla replies by suggesting that the robots are definitely stronger, and mentions that the robots possess factories where mass amounts of robots are built. Therefore, the robots are virtually indefinite. So this is really an awesome argument that's taken place in this story, because this is an argument that happens all the time. People are always debating about what superheroes are stronger or what villains are stronger. And now these two worlds who are desperate for salvation from these enemies are even finding themselves in this same exact debate. Pain asks Captain Kayla, why don't they use the same weapons on the robots that they used earlier to destroy the demon horde? It seemed to be effective on them. Kayla states that her weapon is of no use against the robots. Suddenly, there's a massive explosion. Zabi is confused. He doesn't sense neither humans nor demons. Captain Kayla says, they're coming right now? Numerous robots begin to rise over the rubble. These heavy-duty drones appear well advanced and are designed to maneuver through many an obstacle, almost like a ram. These drones have digital faces to indicate their intent. And at the moment, the drones attempt to appear non-harmful and actually announce out loudly they are not there to cause harm. The robot drones continue to search and announce to the surroundings, even going as far as to announce that the humans that have already been captured are doing just fine. They are being served hot meals and given warm, comfortable beds to sleep. The drones state that Captain Kayla's group are the last group of humans remaining to be saved. So fear not. Captain Kayla observes the drone's behavior and understands immediately the AI has developed new strategies to lure the humans out to be slaughtered. Apparently, some of these new tactics now include deception through promises of peace and salvation. Only a fool would believe this rubbish. Zabi and Hollow remain somewhat confused. All they see and hear from these drones are smiling faces and promises of hot meals and cozy beds. But then one drone's analysis picks up on something. Its advanced technology has detected heat signatures coming from a surrounding area that indicates living organisms' presence. The robot drones have locked on their target and switched from the modes of peaceful protest to activated destruction mode. The drones accelerate in the humans' direction. Captain Kayla, knowing they've been discovered, orders a squad to fire upon the robots at will. The squad unleashes a hail of bullets at the robots as they close in. However, unlike the demons, these bullets cannot penetrate the robot's casing. Hollow and Zabi notice this as well. The fire squad switch to an armor-piercing machine gun. They fire the massive caliber at the drones. Disappointingly, the drones remain unpierced and unfazed by the change in weaponry. Zabi and Hollow can't believe the indestructibility of the drones. A soldier shouts that the same weapon worked against them last time. Then Captain Kayla replies that the AI has already adapted to the weapon and found material to encase the drones with. The robots come close to the soldiers. Then in the nicest and casual way, the drones state that the humans can rest at ease, as the pain will only be temporary and soon they will have an eternal happiness. The earth begins to crack and then falls from under the robots. Zabi has cast a spell to save the soldiers. The robots cannot compute this new energy source. Their CPUs begin to read error. Quickly, Zabi tells his mage to cast his spell. He uses ice magic to freeze the drones in place. The drone systems become overwhelmed with rapidly decreasing temperatures and begin to shut down. The soldiers and captain can't believe their eyes. They have seen firsthand the power of magic against the robots. Zabi's confidence begins to show. He explains to the jaw-dropped soldiers that every living thing possesses magic of some magnitude. It can be vast or minute. However, the robots possess no magic. They are just scraps of metal, and magic works best against objects that contain no magic at all. Zabi begins to gloat with a sinister laugh of know-it-all towards Captain Kayla. Captain Kayla, realizing that they have now found an advantage against the robots, she drops her pride and addresses Zabi with respect. She states all of their scientific weapons are no match for the robots, but Zabi's world's magic is. Zabi then replies back with equal respect and admits that he is thinking likewise, that Kayla's advanced technology could be used effectively against the demons. Zabi and Kayla agreed to an alliance and offer each other's aid to save both worlds. Hollow looks on his brother with happiness and envy. Pain asks Hollow, "What's the matter?" Hollow states that his brother is amazing, and through all of the chaos and darkness, his brother has paved the way towards the light. Hollow states that compared to his older brother Zabi, he's got a long way to go. Pain's body freezes and begins to sweat profusely. He senses a large horde of demons nearby. The others begin to sense it as well. Over the hill, they see the demons marching and flying towards them. They all agree it's best to retreat, reorganize, and conjure up a plan of attack for a later battle. One of Zabi's mages states he can cast a flying spell to get them back to the base camp. However, he would need 5 minutes to do so. As if things didn't already look grim, behind them, they see the robots are reactivating their systems and are almost back to 100%. Captain Kayla states this is the usual end result. They can manage to stop the robots for a moment, but they usually bounce back soon after. But this is even faster than usual. Both enemies descend on the humans, cutting off any hope to escape. Zabi shouts to his mage to begin the chant. Now the humans are back to back, and both groups of humans encourage each other to hold off each enemy. Both groups of humans unleash all they have to hold off the threats. The magic spells of thunder appear effective against the robots, and the hail of bullets seem to hurt the demons. Hollow begins to feel useless and urges himself to get into the fight. But before he can, his brother Zabi tells him to stay put and that he may be needed later in more emergencies. Hollow's confused. Is this not an emergency? The soldiers get confident as they see the damage their bullets are doing to the demons. Captain Kayla informs her soldier, Sasuma, he's straying too far from the squadron. The soldier tells his captain he's good, and the demons are defenseless against their mechanical weapons. A shadowy figure starts to appear in the smoke near the lonely soldier, and it catches his attention. Zabi and his mage are successfully damaging the robots, and they have stopped them in their tracks. Zabi prepares to deliver what he believes would be the final blow. Then he hears, "Adaptation complete." Out of nowhere, a new and even more technologically advanced robot appears, and this robot has created a defense grid that neutralizes their magical attacks. This robot confirms its updates of new attack information have been saved. Wow, guys, this is nuts. Captain Kayla was not joking when she said that this artificial intelligence was quick to learn and adapt. It built technology to defend itself from magical attacks within what seems like only a few hours. These robots are going to be a problem. Zabi becomes worried. He acknowledges the difference of the robots and also believes the barrier created by the new robot now resembles the magic barriers his own magic creates. He questions Kayla, but when he looks over for an answer, he notices they're in trouble as well. A new demon has arrived, and this one appears more powerful than the others. This demon has taken the lonely soldier, Sasuma, by the head and is holding him against gravity with ease. Like an egg, the demon's massive hand crushes the human skull in an instant. Captain Kayla screams for her soldier. As the soldier's body falls to the ground, the demon bows and introduces himself as Kiva, the appointed captain of the 11th Demon Army by none other than the 11th Demon King, Jachi himself. Kiva explains that he has been sent out in order to exterminate the remaining of the 47 heroes. Kiva holds Lord Jachi in the highest of regards and will use every bit of his power to fulfill his demands. The mere mention of the Demon King Jachi's name grabs Hollow's attention right away. Captain Kayla understands this demon is stronger, but orders her men to continue to fire at the demon. The demon begins to deflect the beams with one hand. As he deflects the beams, the demon ponders to himself the origin of these new beings, their weapons, and their strange civilization. Captain Kayla and the soldiers hold their fire as they see they have no effect on this elite demon. One of the squadron races to the front line with a large caliber machine gun. The bullets from this cannon can explode a human's insides and bones into jelly on impact. He fires the powerful caliber towards the demon. The demon stays in place as he raises his hand and then utters the word, "Release." His normal hand then enlarges with enormous power and strength. Kiva then flicks the projectile with such force, it redirects the caliber bullet back towards its point of origin with even greater velocity and power. The large caliber bullet does what it was designed for. It rips the soldier who fired it in half while creating an air force pushing anything nearby. The demon can't help but to wonder where the new beings have come from. However, he believes it makes no difference, as they are just as weak and frail. That is really cool how this demon Kiva can direct his power through certain parts of his extremities. I think that's really cool. I love how this anime shows rankings and the difference in power between these demons, right? You got this hierarchy where you got your demons that are just kind of weaker, and as they kind of climb up the ladder, they grow in power. You got Kiva, there might be somebody above him, and then you got the Demon King, and then above the Demon King, you got the Great Demon King. So I love the rankings. It just lets you know that there's levels to everything, man. Kiva sees these new beings as no more than insects to exterminate. Kayla begins to feel the despair of Zabi and Hollow's fight against these powerful demons. Then the robots continue to engage simultaneously. Hollow stands in the heart of all the despair and thinks to himself that even after calling upon another world for help, they have just unlocked and unleashed another enemy upon themselves that are equally as deadly as the demons who hunt them. He starts to question whether they are destined to die. The demon captain Kiva then notices the robots. He doesn't sense any magic from them. He also notices they are attacking the humans as well. So he has come to a conclusion that they are not the demon's enemy, and he will leave them be. A soldier uses a tank vehicle to attempt to ram the monster and hopefully kill this elite demon. GU tells his captain he's gonna end this fight. Kayla warns GU to not wildly throw his life away, but GU continues to drive towards Kiva. Kiva then utters the word again, release. His arm and hand swell with monstrous power again, and he clamps onto the oncoming tank and lifts it in the air. He then spins the tank as if it were a toy. He generates even more force to catapult the tank towards the humans. The massive tank rolls towards Kayla, ready to take her life and anyone else's in its path. Kayla screams with horrific anticipation. Hollow hears the screams of terror and rushes to Captain Kayla's front. He then unsheaths his broken sword, buries his foot into the earth, then Hollow's pupils disappear as if he is possessed. His sword births a beam of light that takes the shape of an extended saber. Hollow and his sword have transformed. Alright guys, so let's address the elephant in the room. And that is that this artist is fucking amazing. So the artist's name who illustrates this manga for the author one is Kiyotaro Azuma. He's clearly talented and is bringing one's vision to life, just like Yusuke Murata with One Punch Man. This image is simply amazing. That's all I can say. Hollow slices the massive vehicle in half, thus saving Captain Kayla and the mage casting the escape spell. Hollow shouts to the demon Kiva that he is Hollow, the hero that challenged his lord and king, Jachi, and is still alive. Zabi sees his younger brother Hollow drawing the demon's attention. As Zabi examined Hollow's sword, he actually states that the sword is acting up. Alright guys, so I'm not entirely sure what he means by that. The sword is like a lightsaber, and it's cutting through almost anything, so I don't understand how it can be acting up. Zabi's almost kind of acting like he's seen this problem before with Hollow. I don't know. It's a little iffy. Zabi then shouts to Hollow to put his sword down. Hollow's lightsaber then becomes extinguished. Kiva mocks Hollow and his extinguished sword and believes Hollow's bravery has fled at the thought of facing demons again. Hollow looks down at his sword and asks, why? He knows he's ready to fight the demons, so it can't be that he's scared. Alright guys, so quick prediction here. I'm going to go on a limb and say that his older brother Zabi is responsible for his sword going out. It seemed like once Zabi told Hollow to stop, it's almost like he activated some kind of magic restricting spell that made the sword extinguish. I don't know why he would do that. Maybe he's trying to protect Hollow from something, but I do think it was kind of weird. So yeah, I think Zabi may be responsible for that. Kiva extends his wings and then darts towards Hollow, planning to add Hollow to his Lord Jachi's collection. Hollow anticipates the attack and figures he might as well take action. Hollow throws his remaining sword and beams it past Captain Kayla's head, and it hits the robot as it closes in on his brother Zabi. Hollow shouts towards the robot as well, trying to gain its attention. Hollow then continues to lure all the enemies towards himself, shouting that he will take on all enemies. Zabi and Captain Kayla can't believe their ears. Kiva becomes irritated with Hollow's antics. He then reaches for Hollow with his monstrous hand to deliver a killing crush. As Kiva becomes closer to fulfilling his orders, the robot, who was hit by Hollow's sword, analyzes the location in which the attack originated. It then detects the massive energy source emanating from the demon Captain Kiva. In fact, his energy source is so great, it virtually makes Hollow invincible to the AI's radar. The AI adjusts its primary threat and decides to target this new threatening energy source that it believes attacked it. The robot then activates its missiles and fires them at the demon captain, creating an explosion that severs Kiva's opportunity to kill Hollow. Kiva becomes angry after being attacked by the objects he decided to let be. He then casts an attack at the robot to inflict damage, as well as grab the drone and bring it closer. Kiva brings the robot face to face with himself while controlling its body. Kiva then begins to state that had the machines stayed out of his affairs, he would have let them exist. He can't believe these machines would have the ambition to attack Lord Jachi's loyal captain. Kiva questions the robot and where it comes from. As Kiva speaks, the AI begins to make its updates and adjustments as it is constantly learning and evolving. It then set Kiva to the priority target, even above the humans. Alright guys, so let's take another moment here to take in the details of Kyotaro's art style. Look at the way he uses the line work and the shading to show the anger and frustration the demon Kiva is expressing. I can feel the intensity of Kiva's vibes through this artwork. I really like this artist. Zabi rushes over to Hollow with his sword as well. The humans notice that the demons and robots have each other's attention and are preparing to fight. Zabi wants to use this opportunity to flee. He asks Frayne if the fly spell is ready yet. Frayne replies, yes. He has just finished the chant. Frayne activates the spell and a magical circle appears below the humans. They all begin to float in the sky. Kiva notices the humans are attempting to get away. He still aims to take Hollow's corpse to Lord Jachi and uses flexibility quirk to grab Hollow from the ground. However, now that Kiva is the priority target for the AI, the drone uses an energy blast to sever the arm of Kiva holding on to Hollow's leg. The AI wants all the smoke with no distractions. Kiva comes to an ultimate conclusion. He states he doesn't care where these mysterious machines hail from. Suddenly, he regenerates his once severed arm. Then Kiva releases his power to transform into a much more deadly form. Kiva then tells the robot he needs a fair one. The Queen drone detects the major power increase in the demon captain and also activates its more lethal weaponry, destruction mode. So I want to say that for some reason, I was kind of getting the feeling that Kiva more than likely had some kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing going on. When he would release his powers and it would make his arm or hand swell, I thought to myself, I got a feeling if he releases his powers throughout his whole body, he would turn into this massive powerhouse of a demon. And this confirms it. He went from a thin, petite demon to a full-on tank with wings, claws, and fangs. He looks very intimidating and very cool. I really like this design. Then the AI, the Queen drone using its destruction mode looks super scary as fuck. Could you imagine a machine like this standing in front of you, transforming like this? Like, dude, you would piss your pants. And it also looks really fucking cool. The humans begin to hightail it out of there. They blast off into the sky like Goku riding on flying Nimbus. Hollow begins to black out, either from the intense speed or the intensity of the situation, or both. Hollow finally begins to wake. Zabi comes to his brother as he wakes. He states he believes Hollow's injuries finally caught up with him and forced his body to recover, forcing him to sleep. He assures Hollow that they are safe, for now that they are at the fort of humanity. Zabi updates Hollow on their comrade's injury. Some are more severe than others. Hollow apologizes to Zabi for not being stronger. Zabi tells Hollow everyone is equally responsible for the outcomes of the day, but to rest his weary mind. Hollow tells Zabi he cannot rest while their situation is so dire. They must come up with a plan to defeat the demons and the machines. Zabi expresses he's hiding information from Hollow. Hollow picks up on this and replies with confusion. Zabi escorts Hollow outside to show him the fort. When they arrive to the base camp, they then discover that other humans from even more worlds have also connected to their world, along with their natural enemies as well. So in short, there may be even more enemies to overcome. So that is the end of chapter 2, guys. There are even more worlds with even more enemies that have connected. So I think that means our hero Hollow and the other humans are going to be extra fucked because now they got to fight off even more. They could barely handle the demons and the robots. To add more to that, bro, like, I don't know if that's doable. But it's super exciting. It's super hype. Like, bro, like, how are they going to figure this out, right? But not only that, now it seems like a few of the enemies are going to fight each other. And that's super interesting, bro. I really want to know, like, for one, who's going to win, right? Because you got the demons who are crazy strong, and like the demon Captain Kiva, he can regenerate himself, right? So that's kind of indefinite thing. But then you got the robots who are constantly learning and constantly building new technology to defeat an enemy. And not only that, I'm assuming even if one of them gets damaged, they have factories where they could just build a new one. As long as the central intelligence, the AI, is in place, he could could always rebuild robots. So unless they damage the AI itself, the robots are indefinite. That's crazy, bro. And I'm curious to see what other kind of enemies there may be. That's going to be awesome. So I'm taking a look at some of these other humans, and I have to say, some of these groups on the left have me very interested about their stories and what enemies they have to face. Like the huge caveman and the cave woman, they look pretty cool, and I'm wondering what's giving them a run for their money because they look pretty strong. I'm also curious about the futuristic looking couple and their little pea shooters on their hips. They look pretty interesting. Not to mention the futuristic chick. She's got some nice jugs. And then the human sitting in front of the futuristic looking couple has a barcode on the back of his head. He looks like he may have an interesting backstory as well. I don't know what to make of that, but I need more though. I know that. This is so good. It's looking like one might have done it again, bro. Him and his new artist. One, I don't know if they seek him out or he seeks them out, but he gets some of the better artists out there for sure, and I'm loving every bit of it. But that's it, man. That is my review for chapter 2. I don't know enough just yet. It just looks like if they add more enemies to this, more villains, and they put them against each other, this is kind of what everybody wants to see. You see it all the time on YouTube. People will compare either heroes or villains from completely different content. Like they'll compare a Dragon Ball Z hero or a villain to a Demon Slayer hero or villain, and they're like, I wonder who's stronger. So it's like we're literally getting that with this manga here, and that's fucking awesome because the villains are cool. Some of these heroes are cool. I think that Hollow is really cool. That art where they drew him powering up and then he slices that truck, that was amazing. Oh my god, I hope we get more of that. Honestly, as far as the humans go, well, I mean, now they've introduced some of the new ones. I got to get a better look at them. But as far as the ones that we've seen so far, Hollow is definitely the more interesting looking one. But I'm not gonna lie, man, Captain Kayla's kind of hot a little bit. Even though I said she looked kind of like Genos, but yeah, she's a female, so it's all good. Anyway, but yeah, man, if you have enjoyed this review and you want to come back for chapter 3, please hit the like button. We could talk about it in the comments. And if you're going to come back, please subscribe. Okay, it helps the channel out a lot. Other than that, I will see you guys later. Bye.